back. Today I'll be taking you through step by step exactly how to get started with the Cardano DeFi ecosystem and getting your wallet right. So this is laying that kind of groundwork fundamentals of how to use DeFi in the blockchain space. I'm doing this series called DeFi Decoded, basically going through all of these different layer 1 projects, Phantom, Solana, Polkadot, Cardano, all these ones that I absolutely love, and basically completely for free, showing you exactly how to use all of these things from A to Z, starting out with the very, very beginning things like setting up a wallet, and then going on to some of these more advanced things like yield farming, staking, all these other things that are available out there in the space. But I really want to bring this to you so you understand how to safely use this ecosystem, because they're all different, but they're all working together on cross-chain interoperability. So without any further ado, let's hop into it. Basically here on the official Cardano site, you can go here to individuals, and if you click on this, you can see these two main wallets. Now, there also is ADA Lite, which is another wallet, but they all basically have the same process when it's setting up because they're underlying using the Cardano blockchain. So with these, they're all kind of like different shells on how to use them. They do come down to preferences, but for the sake of this video, we're going to be focusing on the Yori wallet. Like I said, once you understand the very, very basics of the user interface, the setup process is very, very simple. So the Datus wallet, the reason that I'm not including it in this video is you actually have to download it on your computer, but with the Yori wallet, you can actually show it as a Chrome extension. Yes, technically this is downloading, but it's not necessarily the software on your computer. It's just in the individual browser. So here with the Yori wallet, we'll actually go here to the official site. Make sure everything we talk about in the video will be linked down below in the description, just here on the official sites, because sometimes there's these, basically fake sites. If you're just searching on Google, Yori wallet, sometimes they can run a Google ad, show up first, and then it'll be like a phishing site. So kind of a topic for another video. I talk about this a lot in like setting up your cybersecurity. So make sure you don't have anything like a keystroke logger on your computer or a screen logger where, let's say, you don't understand cybersecurity and someone has sent you an email in the past, you've clicked on that email and maybe you realized it was a scam and you just clicked away and you haven't checked, hey, do I have malware on my computer? A great way of checking for this is something called Malwarebytes. I'm not affiliated with them in any way, not trying to sell you anything. This is just for your personal security, making sure before you even set these things up, right? So getting your own stuff together before you actually go into the DeFi space, which is the reason I'm doing this series, is making sure that you have your own cybersecurity up to date, because this is completely your responsibility, right? Just like when we're going to go here in a second to your private key and your mnemonic, you have to make sure you have this groundwork laid out. And I've made a video on this in the past back when I was in Istanbul. Maybe I'll do an updated video here in Portugal on cybersecurity as I'm kind of starting out this series. But I was very inspired to do this because when I spent a month recently in Africa, and I realized there's a lot of lack of just the basic education on this space. So I really wanted to do this and make sure people understand how to do this really from the very, very beginnings of how to use all these different ecosystems. But on here, you can see basically whatever browser you're using, you can download this from. So in this case, we're going to use Chrome. So once you click this, basically it will take you to the Chrome web store, which is just these add-on links right here. And then this will show up. So you'll download this. And this will pop up right here. You'll go to the actual Yori website. So you can see here, this is actual Chrome extension. You'll select your language here. You'll make sure you understand the terms of use. Again, put your big boy pants on. This is your own responsibility. The reason I'm making this video is to show you exactly how this works. Obviously, this wallet that I'm going to be showing in this video, I will not be using. You can log in if you want, but it's just for the sake of educational purposes. So you can actually read everything right here. I recommend actually reading it, and then hit it. I accept the terms of use here, making sure that Yori will never do any of these things, which you do have on something like MetaMask. Even though I've done a video on the dark side of MetaMask, they do actually track a lot of things. And a lot of people don't realize this, so that's why it's important to not just go, okay, MetaMask, yes, you can use this on many different chains by adding different networks on there, but they track a lot of things that people don't necessarily understand. And I did a video on Blank Wallet, why I like that a bit more than MetaMask, even though Blank's much newer, but it's more focused on privacy. So after you've hit I agree with the terms of use here, you can hit continue. And now you can see to allow the Cardano payment URL. So Yori will allow you to generate special links, receive page and share it in order to receive payments faster and easier. You can always enable this feature in settings. So for right now, we're actually going to hit skip. And again, you can always go back and change these things when I get to the end of the video. The reason I have timestamps in here, so if you already have this part set up, if you know how to do this, you can skip ahead if you're a bit more advanced and you're just looking to sharpen up your skills versus if you're a complete beginner. The reason I do this kind of a introduction to each of these different ecosystems is to kind of help beginners understand what's going on here, kind of A to Z. So with this, again, you can always change these things in settings. near the end of the video, I'll actually be showing you in the wallet the different features you have there. And yeah, so here on the actual Yori site, we can see here what are the different options we have, right? So we have hardware wallets, so things like a Trezor or a Ledger. We're not doing that today. I've talked about those in another video. But really what we're going to be doing is creating a wallet. If you're restoring wallets, let's say you've already created a wallet and you lost the device or whatever, you're going on to another site, that's when you need to either have the private key or the mnemonic there. So when we hit create a wallet, one of the things you need to understand here, and obviously we're using Cardano, so we can hit create a wallet. This is for ongoing use. A paper wallet would be kind of like more one-time use. But when we create this wallet, we'll just set it up as, I'll just set it as the channel name, Invest Global. We'll set this. So the spending password, again, the main thing with blockchain technology that you need to understand is the private key is like the holy grail, right? The private key is the master key to everything. The public key you can send to anyone and they can send you money. But you can always go from the private key to the public key and generate a public key, but you can never go from a public key to a private key, right? This is using hash functions in a cryptography and everything that's, I've done a video on this as well, but kind of the blockchain technology is based off of basically the spending password, just like, you have your bank account password. With this, if somebody knows this and they're on your device, then they'll be able to use it. But let's say like your device gets stolen, they're not necessarily going to be able to see your, if you have your private key and your mnemonic written down on paper, they're not going to necessarily be able to see that. They're not going to be able to take the wallet from you. But let's say they have the device, as long as they don't know your spending password, you should be fine. But the thing about the spending password is that let's say someone else tries to use it on another device, it doesn't even matter because they don't actually have custody of the wallet. The main thing here, again, I cannot repeat this enough, is have that private key, have that mnemonic, have it in a safe place. For the sake of this video, I will take a picture of it on my phone just for educational purposes. That is not at all how you want to do it. How you want to do it is write it down on a piece of paper. But again, for time's sake, that's what I'll be doing just for clarity there, right? So spending password, we'll just set this as like invest global.io. That's my website. 10. Boom. Okay, so we'll take that and we'll set this one as invest global.io 10. Perfect. Okay. Boom. So we got both of those set up. Now we're going to actually create the personal wallet. So again, this is where you're actually going to go into the mnemonic and I'll have you re-enter it. And this is, again, before you do any of these things, very, very important to have your cybersecurity up. You understand what's going on with your computer. If you have malware bytes on there, all these different things, very, very important. So with the recovery phrase, as it says here on the following screen, you will see a set of 15 random words. This is your wallet backup phrase. So that's the mnemonic, okay? So this is actually, that connects you to the private key. So it basically signals, let's say when you go to recover a wallet, like we saw earlier, instead of creating a wallet or instead of the hardware wallet, when you go to recover it, this is what you will enter. And this is why you want to have it on a piece of paper. There's a couple different strategies that you can do with this just in case the paper is compromised. But that's, again, for a whole nother video. The main focus here is that you write this down on paper. I cannot repeat that enough. So make sure nobody looks at this as well. So make sure nobody else is in the room that you don't trust. This is basically what you'll see, right? So for the sake of this video, again, do not do this, but I will take a picture of it. Just so when I enter it back in, I like to just do videos in one take, so it's very raw. But basically, I will enter all these words back. So you've read all these. Again, hey, if you guys want, you can log into this wallet. I don't recommend it, but this is just for the sake of this video. So now what we'll do is, since you have it written down on paper, you're going to enter all these words back in, and it's good to do this this way. In the early days of the crypto world, it was you had to type these in, and the problem is if you have a keystroke logger and you don't know that it's in your computer, which ends up happening to a lot of people, you have this issue of when you're typing this back in, somebody could basically see this via the keystroke logger and go like, oh, they're entering all these random words. This is obviously like a crypto private wallet, and they can just re-enter it, right? So they could take that on another device, which is a big issue. So with this, as long as there's not a screen logger embedded in your computer via malware, you should be completely fine to click on all these and go straight from there. So we type those in. I'll continue here. Again, I have timestamps in this video, so that's why you can skip ahead here, but I'll keep it raw here. So we have it. Melody rap. Also, by the way, this DeFi Decoded series, I talked about this in the first episode on the Phantom wallet setup, or how to get started in the Phantom ecosystem. But if you guys have any requests of individual projects you would like to see, just let me know in the comment section. You can also join the Telegram group down below in the description, or write to us on Twitter at investglobal_IO. And from there, I can then make a video on those individual ecosystems. But again, this is basically going from start to finish with each of these layer ones, because it's very, very important you get the wallet set up right, and then you go into using the other projects that you can use in the DeFi ecosystem. So We have Balcony, but yeah, you can write to us on any of those if you have a question on any ecosystem. We also have some older videos that I recorded while I was in Turkey and kind of more in the Balkan regions in Europe. On kind of some of the other projects out there, right? So moving into 2022, I think it's very, very important to have this education out there for free for everyone. But if you have any individual questions, if you want to work on a one-to-one basis, we do have a link down below that you can call on. That's more for kind of like consultation calls. If you don't want to set all these things up yourself, you want more kind of individual help, you can click on that, or contact us at contact@investglobal.io. So now that we've entered all these things in, we can see here that we understand that the secret keys are held securely on this device only and not on the company's server. So that's very, very important to understand. Then you understand that if the application is moved to another device or deleted, the money can only be recovered via the backup phrase, and that you have written it down in a saved and secured place. Again, make sure you have that. And now we're in the wallet. Okay, so you can see the wallet right here. This is the dashboard. If it will load, hopefully it will. Like I was talking about at the beginning of this video, this is the settings option. So this is where we can actually go back and import that what I said skip earlier. We can actually accept that, where you can have different ways of payments. So we can use the different themes here. We can look at the actual blockchains here. So we can look at like Cardano Explorer, all these different things. Again, this is a little bit more complex as Cardano develops. But if you again want an individual video on like the different explorers on Cardano, there's a lot of these different ones that essentially aggregate all the data going on there. You can also resync wallet, export the wallet here. We can reread the terms of use. We can see the support logs here and the level of complexity. So if you're a bit more of an advanced user, you can click on this and you get a bit more features there. We also have here the claim and the transfer. So obviously, if you understand Cardano, you have all these eras, which I love what Charles is doing. I was actually just missed him in Egypt, probably. Like he was probably at the pyramids maybe a few days after I was, and I saw he was posting all his videos on the camels. So that's pretty awesome there. I spent around a month in Egypt. And I love what he's doing with Cardano. Again, this is one of those slow but steady blockchains. It gets a lot of hate for some reason. I don't really understand why. People get very emotional, very like religious in the crypto space. I like to look at things objectively and go, hey, he's building something great. He's building something for the long term. He's not falling for these kind of short-term tricks, and really focusing on the main technology, the main building of crypto, and actually solving a lot of these issues that we have in emerging markets. So we can see here that we don't have any ADA, but if we want to, for example, fund this wallet, so we want to toss one ADA in the wallet, we can receive it here. So this would be like your public key, right? And it looks obviously a lot different than these other networks, but what we can do here is click copy to clipboard, and then we could send this, for example, if you have, you have ADA on a centralized exchange like Binance, you can send it over. If you have ADA on a centralized exchange like Coinbase, you can send it over. And then you can also generate a new address, right? So you could hit this and you could generate a new public key. So some people, for every transaction, they want to do a different thing, or like, let's say, you're participating in some sort of giveaway where you have to like type I don't really do these, but I know some people do, where you like type you put your public key in like a comment section or something like this, where it's available to the public, forever, basically. That's probably when you'll want to generate a new one, right? Because remember, you can always go from the private key to a public key and generate any new ones based on hash functions, but you can never go from your public key to your private key. So if someone knows your public key, they can never really see your private key. They can see all your transactions in that given wallet. That's why it might be good to generate a new public key. So the point here is you can also use this QR with many different ecosystems. You can do the exact same thing. We can generate new addresses here. We can see all these different things. We can also look at your past transactions there. If you want to send money from this account, you would send it the actual amount there. So you would copy their wallet. So you would tell them, hey, maybe you can send them this video and go, hey, this is what you have to do. Maybe generate a new address, copy that in there. Obviously, you would be putting someone else's address in here, but for the sake of this, we would put that in there like that. We would put the amount like whatever 10 Cardano we want to send. And then the custom amount and things like that there. Beyond that, we also have things like voting here, right? So if you had enough Cardano there, also delegation lists. So if you're staking your Cardano here in the different pools, all of that is available there. So that's basically all for this video. Again, you can see if you want multiple different wallets, you can set it up there. Yori is great. If you want to see a detailed video on let's see here, on Datus, I can't ever remember if I'm saying that right, or on the Cardano Lite wallet, just let me know in the comments down below. But that's all for this video. If you have any questions, any comments, either let us know in the comments or in the Telegram group chat. Also, like I said, Twitter is @investglobal_io. If you're curious on any individual things, you can schedule a call with us either on our website, investglobal.io, and click Become a Client, or you can go to contact@investglobal.io and send us an email there. So that's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, and whatnot. Invest Global, and until next time.